What would you do if the person you trusted most became the reason you couldn't sleep at night? If the love that once made you feel safe suddenly made you question everything? This is the story of Emma and David, a couple who had it all until one message changed everything. Emma and David had been married for 9 years. They met in college. She was studying literature. He was an engineering student who couldn't stop smiling whenever she walked into the library. Their love story started simple: late-night coffee dates, shared dreams of building a life together, and promises whispered under starlit skies. Over the years, life got busy. 2 kids, a mortgage, long work hours. The kind of everyday chaos that slowly replaces candlelight dinners with grocery lists and tired sighs. But through it all, Emma believed their love was solid. They weren't perfect, but they were real. Until the night she borrowed his phone. David was in the shower. His phone buzzed once, twice, then again. A name she didn't recognize flashed across the screen. Sophie Work. At first, she thought nothing of it. David often worked late, managing a new project. But then, curiosity whispered. She opened the message. "Last night was amazing, can't stop thinking about it." Emma froze. Her heart pounded so hard she could barely breathe. For a moment, she convinced herself it was a joke. Maybe it meant something else. Maybe, last night, referred to work. But the next message shattered that hope. "You make me feel alive again." Emma's world stopped. Her hands trembled as the shower ran in the background, steady and unbothered, like nothing had changed. She stared at the screen, replaying every memory of their marriage. Had she missed the signs? The late nights, the sudden gym trips, the distant stares. When David stepped out, towel around his waist, he smiled and said, "Hey babe, can you hand me my phone?" Emma did, slowly, silently, and whispered, "Who's Sophie?" The color drained from his face. He didn't answer. Just silence. The kind of silence that screams louder than words. That night, he slept on the couch. And Emma lay awake, wondering, was this the end of their story, or just a brutal chapter? Days turned into weeks. They spoke only when necessary, about the kids, bills, appointments. David tried to explain, but his words fell flat. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. But how do you convince a broken heart that something meant nothing? Emma found herself torn. Part of her wanted to leave, to escape the pain. The other part wanted to understand why. Why did he do it? Why risk everything they'd built for something so temporary? She started therapy, alone at first. Her therapist asked one question that lingered in her mind. Do you want revenge, or do you want peace? At first, she didn't know. Meanwhile, David began changing. He stopped hiding his phone, deleted social media, even gave Emma full access to his accounts, not because she asked, but because he wanted to prove transparency. But trust isn't rebuilt through passwords. It's rebuilt through patience. One evening, 3 months later, Emma found a small notebook on the kitchen counter. David's handwriting filled the first page. Day 1. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me, but I'll spend every day trying to deserve her trust again. Every page after was an entry, raw, honest confessions about his guilt, his fears, and his love for her. She cried for the first time in weeks. Not because she forgave him, but because she saw the man who wanted to be better. But just when she thought healing had begun, she received a message from an unknown number. If you think he's done with me, you're wrong. Her heart sank. It was Sophie. Emma's world spiraled again. Had everything been a lie? Was his change just a performance? She confronted him that night, tears, rage, confusion all at once. David looked at her and said quietly, "She reached out. I didn't reply. I wanted to tell you, but I was afraid you'd give up on me for good." He handed her his phone. The message was there, unopened. He'd blocked Sophie right after. But the damage was done. Emma broke down, screaming, "You don't get to choose when I trust you again. You broke it. You don't fix it on your timeline." He didn't argue. He just held her hand, shaking, whispering, "I know, but I'm not giving up on us." Months passed. Counseling sessions turned from cold silence to cautious honesty. Emma started to see small changes. The way he looked at her, the way he showed up for their kids, the way he didn't hide from the hard conversations anymore. Healing wasn't a single moment. It was hundreds of tiny, painful ones stitched together. A year later, they renewed their vows, quietly, in their backyard, surrounded by the kids and a few close friends. Emma wore the same dress she did 10 years ago, altered just slightly, a symbol of who she'd become. When she looked at David, she didn't see the man who betrayed her. She saw the man who fought to be worthy again. Trust wasn't what it once was. It was deeper now, scarred, imperfect, but earned. They still had arguments, insecurities, and bad days. But they had learned something vital. Love isn't about avoiding pain. It's about rebuilding through it. Sometimes, love isn't about holding on to who someone was. It's about believing in who they can become, even after they've broken your heart. Infidelity doesn't have to end a marriage. But rebuilding trust takes two people who are willing to walk through the fire, together. Because forgiveness isn't weakness. It's a choice to stop bleeding over what you've already survived. If this happened to you, would you have stayed, or walked away? Tell me in the comments. Because everyone has a different answer, until it happens to them.